Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Body of missing Westmoreland woman found in shallow grave. Residents of the Mount Erie community in Westmoreland have been left in shock and disbelief following the murder and burial of a woman. Dead is 38-year-old Carrie Williams. It is reported that relatives of Williams were unable to contact her since Wednesday, and a missing person report was filed. Following investigations, her body was found in a shallow grave. Member of Parliament for Westmoreland Western, Moreland Wilson, visited the community on December 2nd to offer support to the grieving family. He said Mrs. Williams was known to his office as she recently signed up to participate in the Overseas Farm Work program. The MP said arrangements are being made to have counselors for the Victim Support Unit and other agencies visit the area.
I got a phone call this morning from one of the community members. I get to understand that the children for Carrie Ann was trying to make contact with her for the past 2 days, and she was unable to do so, and she went to the police and reported it, in which an investigation was launched, and they discovered the body in a shallow grave this morning. When I went there, first I went to express my condolences to the family and friends of Carrie Ann. In fact, Carrie Ann is known to the office because recently she came by to sign up for the farm work program, and due to that, she came in contact with my office to make a request because she heard of the opportunity that's available through my office. So from all accounts and from what we understood, she was a very ambitious and progressive young woman who is looking forward to a bright future for herself and her children. So she reached out to my office to get an opportunity. However, this unfortunate incident happened. Well, whatever support we can give, we will definitely give to the family and friends for Carrie Ann. She's known to us, so we'll definitely be reaching out to the family. And there is victim support as well that is offered through the government, through the various organs of the government. So I will be engaging the different agencies to see whatever support they could lend, psychologically and otherwise, because it is a difficult one for the community. And the details of how she passed is quite gruesome. So that within itself has left a lot of persons, including myself, in total disbelief. It is a very difficult one. It's a very heinous crime, very barbaric in a lot of the acts that I heard that was performed. So we will definitely need some support for the family. And I will stand ready to lend as much support as possible through the office.
Elderly woman perishes in fire in St. James. An elderly woman perished in a fire at her home in Gopies Lane, Salt Spring, St. James on December 2nd. She has been identified as 90-year-old Ida Mae White. Police reports are that the fire started at about 9 a.m. Public Relations Officer at the Fire Brigade, Emilia Ebanks, told reporters that firefighters responded to the blaze and White's charred remains were found among the rubble.
We received a call earlier this morning. I don't have the exact time, of a 3-apartment dwelling house constructed of board and zinc roofing. While we were going through and extinguishing the blaze, we came across the burnt remains of an elderly female. We have investigators on the scene trying to ascertain the cause of the fire. The estimated loss is $2 million, and the estimated risk is $8 million.
Man shot to dead at former SOE checkpoint in Westmoreland. A man was gunned down while riding his motorcycle at a former state of emergency SOE checkpoint at Valley Ethel Road in Grange Hill, Westmoreland on Friday afternoon. The man is known only by his alias G5. Reports are that residents heard loud explosions, and shortly after, the man was discovered on the ground beside his motorcycle with what appeared to be gunshot wounds. One resident who did not want to be identified told reporters that the community needs the SOE. Whole heap of people are dead. If them no come back, the resident lamented. He said there was a semblance of order when the soldiers were at the checkpoint. It did calm, before them come a pure gunshot to the here at night time. From them gone, see they, man dead right there so, the seemingly concerned resident said. Added that had the SOE been active, a murder would not have taken place at the location. If it did, a man wouldn't dead there so. Not that them gone, the place tore up again, he said. The SOEs expire on Tuesday at midnight. Man shot and killed, woman injured at bar in St. Mary. A 34-year-old craft vendor was shot and killed in Stewarttown, St. Mary on Thursday night. He has been identified as Martin Scott of Exchange in St. Anne. A woman was also shot and injured in the incident. It is reported that about 7:30 p.m., Scott was at a bar when a man came up and opened fire. He and the woman were hit. They were rushed to hospital where Scott was pronounced dead and the woman treated. The police say it appeared that Scott was the target. Beloved Clarendon College assistant Augusta Cup manager killed in crash. What should have been a day of final preparation and celebration ahead of Saturday's Augusta Cup final has morphed into a day of mourning for the Clarendon College Augusta Cup football team as it now grapples with the news of the death of its team's assistant manager, Neville Manny Peart. Peart died in a crash along the PJ Patterson Highway in St. Catherine on Thursday night. The police say Peart was killed in a two-vehicle crash about 9 p.m., but further details were not yet available. Peart, a past student of Clarendon College, had been the Augusta Cup assistant manager since 1994. Reporters understand that Peart's last encounter with the team was mere hours before his tragic demise. Manny went to visit the boys, who are at camp in Kingston, bringing supplies as he always does. He shared a meal with his fellow management members and decided to set out for Clarendon late last night. We are all shocked and saddened by this horrible news, and we ask you to keep his family, friends and the team he loves so dearly in your thoughts at this time, said a Clarendon College memo on Friday. Peart, a businessman who hails from Hills in Clarendon, is described as a humble humanitarian to whom the well-being of Clarendon College players was paramount. Counsel for the Haynes Division, Tim Barnes, who is also a friend of Peart, told reporters that Haynes community, the school and everyone who knew Peart, was broken by the tragic death of the football enthusiast. Barneswell, also a Clarendon past student, said Peart had shared a moment of reflection with the players earlier on Thursday and described Peart's death as untimely. I hope that his death will not affect the boys from winning the Augusta Cup on Saturday, and I hope the boys will treat it as a memory and play in his honor, said Barneswell. In May last year, the school's bus driver Keith Dunkley was also killed in a motor vehicle crash. Up to November 29, a total of 429 people were killed in the road crashes across Jamaica. The figure is the same when compared to the corresponding period last year, and 30 more when compared to the figures for the 2020 corresponding period. Justice Minister urges employers to offer better wages to attract and keep workers. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck has urged employers to offer better wages to attract and keep employees. He made the call while referring to the high level of unemployment among the youngsters' population and the need for employees at a number of establishments. Speaking at a Justice of the Peace Commissioning ceremony in St. Anne on December 1, Mr. Chuck said, if employers make wages and benefits more attractive, it would not only benefit workers, but also the establishments. He said in most cases, people question why they should work if they will not be able to afford basic items. While assuring that the new justices of the peace of the country is developing, Mr. Chuck said this could be hindered by the unwillingness of many persons to work.
I strongly encourage the employers to really make it attractive to attract persons to work. Nowadays, as you have heard, lots of employers are encouraging people to pay a little more. Because when you get a salary and you have to pay bus fare, lunch money, and other expenses, if the salary is below a certain amount, you wonder why we work. I would also like to participate with those employers and the workers' union to encourage employers to make it attractive for workers to want to remain in employment and also for employers to attract employees. At the end of the day, employers and companies and hotels should know that the success of your business depends on the shoulders of these employees. But we need more Jamaicans to be productive. And we are urging you, if you know of any young man, any young woman, to get the necessary skills training, to offer themselves for employment, so that they too can be a part of the productive sector in Jamaica. We need all hands aboard so that Jamaica can really boost its productivity and become a better place. And I'm going to depend on you, Justice of the Peace, because you're right there in the nook and cranny of the districts. You know the people who are unemployed. Encourage them to seek employment.
Stiffer penalties to come for perpetrators of gender-based violence. Perpetrators of gender-based violence will face stiffer penalties going forward following legislative changes. Minister of Gender Affairs Olivia Grange said work has started on amendments to the Domestic Violence Act to capture more offences that would be considered acts of violence. Among them, she said, or amendments to comply with the new firearms legislation. This would take into consideration if a man, for instance, uses a gun to hit, threaten, or intimidate a woman. He may take it and slap the woman or point it at her, or take it out and put it down so she can see that it means business. Ms. Green said these circumstances will be addressed in the amendments to the Domestic Violence Act. She was addressing a forum on the elimination of violence against women. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification